5 years ago, I started a social media marketing agency, and it's the best decision that I have ever made in my life. Today, I want to tell you how much money I actually made in the first 90 days. And I think you're going to be very surprised by the result and by how much money I made in the first 90 days. My name is Charlie Morgan. I have built and scaled 2 companies. Welcome to the channel if you are new. I have basically built and scaled an agency, marketing agency to 7 figures. I sold it. It's pretty cool. It's called NorthFlow Consulting. I run a coaching business and it's called Imperium Agency, and we make multi-7 figures. Anyways, listen, let me tell you how much money I actually made in the first 90 days of running a marketing agency. I want to precursor this with the premise that when I started my agency, things were a little easier than they are now, whereby there wasn't as much competition, but it wasn't as saturated. Clients were easier to come by. It's still possible to grow and start an agency these days. It's actually still quite easy from my perspective. So how much money did I make in the first 90 days? So I can tell you what I did in the first 90 days before I tell you how much money I made. So I basically started a company. It was called, the first company I started was called CM Digital. It was a digital marketing agency. And I did all sorts of outreach. I tried email, I did some cold calls, I did cold messaging. This was really, really early on in my journey. I found that after 90 days, I had made nothing, $0, nothing at all. You've probably clicked on this video with the expectation of me telling you that I got to 5 grand a month, 10 grand, 20 grand a month. In my first 90 days as a marketing agency owner, I made 0, nothing at all. And I want you to know that that's pretty normal and is actually kind of to be expected. This is when I started my first freelancing business, when I first started trying to get digital marketing clients. I didn't have a niche, I didn't really have anything, I didn't have any information at all. I started that business and I went on to grow it to a couple of grand a month whilst I was doing a university degree. However, I then dropped out of university and then started a proper agency, and then I managed to grow it a lot faster with the lessons I'd learned. But there's nothing wrong with it, right? Let me explain, because I'm really grateful for the experience, because there's a lot of people on YouTube and they're in the SMMA space, and they'll tell you that in the first 90 days of their journey, they signed 5 clients and started making 10 grand a month or 5 grand a month. It's a very unrealistic expectation to set. When you start a business, you are not a business person. You're not an entrepreneur. You don't have skills that would facilitate easy and quick business growth. The speed at which your company grows and the speed at which your social media marketing agency actually expands is correlated directly with the speed at which you can acquire skills and correct and change your belief system to be more conducive to the result you want to accomplish. Business growth is very seldom business growth. Business growth is personal growth in disguise. And the reason that I didn't make any money in my first 0 to 90 days is because I didn't understand how to improve and grow myself. And I don't mean improve and grow myself from the perspective of, meditating every day or journaling every day. People say that's self-improvement, but to me, self-improvement is when you assume a new identity. It's called ecstasies. It's what snakes do. They shed their skin, right? Self-improvement to me isn't just suddenly journaling every day or reading books that will improve your life. The reading or the journaling isn't the thing that creates the improvement. It's then saying you are a reader or a journaler, right? So it's not meditating that is the self-improvement part. It's becoming a meditator, if that's even a word. If we take the word self and improvement, right, we have self, which is you, your identity, your collection of beliefs, the amalgamation of everything you are, times by improvement, which is growth. And so my first 90 days were a shit show. I didn't make any money at all. I didn't sign any clients. I hardly had many sales meetings, and it was just all my priorities were warped. I had no idea what I was doing. My logo looked like it had been made by some sort of 3-year-old whacking their hand on a canvas with some paint. It was awful. And the main thing is that I want you to expect it to be awful, because you've probably got some massive hopes and confidences that you're going to start making all sorts of money immediately with your agency. You've probably got it all mapped out in your head. All I need is this amount of clients, and then all I need to do is find this media buyer, and then it's all wrong. It's all backwards. You're starting a company, and starting a company requires you to change and for you to become someone else. For people to change, it takes quite a while. And I've learned this, my income going from 0 to 6 figures, multi-6 figures, 7 figures, multi-7 figures, and eventually 8 figures, which I'm not at yet, but that's my intention next. When I'm at that level, it's not about making that money. It's about becoming the person that can make that amount of money, if that makes sense. And so when I started my company in the first 90 days, I wasn't anyone. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to do. But over time, to start this business, I was taking actions that a business owner would take. I didn't feel like a business owner, but I was doing things like logging invoices and sending outreach and trying to do sales calls and handle objections and try and onboard clients. I was doing these things that business owners would do. I would try and hire virtual assistants, for example, or build websites. And I thought, but over time, because I stuck at it for long enough, I eventually solidified this identity as a business owner. So if you want to change, The change doesn't come by first believing you are. In my experience, the change comes by believing you can be, taking the action, and then the action solidifies you becoming that person. A lot of people get this wrong with the law of attraction, where they think that if you believe it, you will see it, right? That's not true. I found with the law of attraction and affirmations and beliefs that you want to work on your belief system so you can take action to achieve the result. So if you want to tell yourself you're the greatest salesperson in the world, it's not telling yourself you're the greatest person in the world, salesperson in the world, that creates you to become the best. What happens is, by telling yourself you're the best, you start acting as if you are, and it's the action that creates you becoming the best, if that makes sense. So I wanted to make this short video because a lot of people have very misaligned expectations, and a lot of people on this channel, on this platform rather, aren't particularly transparent. And I want you to know that if you're starting out, and if you're new to this game, and if you're struggling and it's not going your way, that's kind of okay. It's not okay in the sense that like you're struggling and failing, and I don't want you to necessarily accept it as normal or average, because then that just forces complacency. But I want you to know that if you are finding it really hard, I want to offset your doubt, basically, because what you're probably doing right now is failing and struggling. With that failure and struggling, basically you're like, oh my god, is this worth it? Can I actually do this? You can. You just need to give your unconscious identity manifest time to actually grow and expand off of your actions, if that makes sense. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it right now, because if you like the video, it helps me help other people like you, right? So if you found this video helpful and you think, actually, that's a really good insight, I'm going to start using that, then there might be other people in your situation that are going through the same pain that you can help just by clicking a button. So please do like the video. It really helps me, help you, help other people. It's a three-way win. You can also comment any video ideas you've got, anything you want me to do, any specific videos or ideas you've got that you want me to make videos on, and also subscribe. Don't turn the bell notification icon on. You've got better things to do with your life than be distracted by YouTube notifications, but do check back every now and then for the uploads. But yeah, that's everything from me. If you are an agency owner, a coach or consultant, and you are struggling and you want to make more money, click the first link in the description. There's no 997 course, there's no webinar, there's no free training, there's no case study. Just go ahead. It's a video of me explaining how we can help you. You can click it if you want. If you don't want to, I don't really mind. But that's everything from me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.